Russia is preparing a large-scale provocation at the Zaporizhzhya NPP. She wants to unlock the NPP from the Ukrainian energy system. Energadar reports that the occupiers plan to stop 3 working power units of the station in the near future and unlock them from supplying electricity to the Ukrainian grid. Currently, the Russian military is looking for fuel for diesel generators, which are supposed to support nuclear fuel cooling systems from the moment. Next, the invaders plan to switch Zaporizhzhya NPP to their own power system. However, if the cooling of nuclear reactors stops, a nuclear disaster could occur. On Thursday, a landing force of Russian propagandists arrived at the NPP. Yesterday, the occupiers fired again at the objects located at the station, Energadar assures. Workers recorded military equipment on video. At least 5 Russian military trucks are parked in one of the 6 engine rooms, 130 meters from the nuclear reactor. The American television channel CNN has already confirmed the authenticity of this video clip. The Russians are capable of anything, which is why several research institutes are simulating the scale of the disaster in the event of a hypothetical accident. And here everything depends on weather conditions. If this had happened a few days ago, the highest concentration would have been within the borders of Ukraine. Significant indicators of radionuclides in this scenario reached Kyiv. The remnants spread to Belarus, Poland, and the Baltic states. However, should the wind change, Crimea and the Russian Kuban become the most affected areas. The greatest risk zone is a 200-kilometer radius. But if it's to bring the situation to a critical point, the occupiers must be real suicide bombers. Energadar sources report that a large film crew of propagandists arrived at the station the day before yesterday. First, they consulted with representatives of the FSB. A few hours later, the occupiers shelled the training center of the station. They fired from 2 places in Energadar on television cameras placed in the vicinity. The day before, almost the entire staff of the nuclear power plant was not allowed to work and declared a possible provocation on our part. The General Directorate of Intelligence of Ukraine considers this a bad sign. This may mean that the occupiers are preparing a real terrorist attack on one of Europe's largest nuclear facilities. Yana Slisarchuk, Volodymyr Cherenkov, TSN 1+1, Marathon Jediny Noviny.